So I'm so excited to be having a chat today with beautiful Amelia Hellyer. How are you, Amelia?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm really excited to pick your brains and share the amazing work that you are doing in this world with our community. So, I suppose for everyone watching this, I'd love for you to start off by introducing like who you are today and what you do in the world.
Yeah, well, today I am a business coach and I use hypnotherapy for business owners in various ways, but I also use hypnosis for a few other things, just, things like around self-worth, confidence, a few fears that come up. But my main niche at the moment with business is business coaching. Yeah.
Awesome. And I know you do a lot around like abundance and wealth mindset
Yes.
in that. Yeah.
Yes. So I help people to expand their perception around money and wealth, but especially to do with their self-worth, because with business, what can come up is you think, am I good enough? Who's going to buy from me? How do I even go about this process? So we do a little bit around some things with strategies and showing up online, but most of it's all their unconscious blocks of why they're procrastinating, why they're not doing the things that they really want to end up doing. Yeah. So there's a lot in there.
I can imagine. And I know that you are like number one biggest fan and advocate for all things hypnotherapy and hypnosis. So I'm excited to talk about that as well today. But for those of you who don't know, where did your journey begin with Evolve and Relaunch, and where was your business and where were you kind of before you'd studied the hypnotherapy and NLP side of things?
Yeah. So before I got into NLP, because that's what I studied first, before that, I was doing energy healing. I was a Reiki practitioner. And I just remember speaking to so many of my clients, and I thought, if only I knew a bit more conversationally what to say to people, because people would come to me with problems and I didn't always know what to say. So I thought, okay, maybe there's something else out there. And then I came across you and NLP, and then that's when I got into it, and then that shifted a lot for me. Yeah. And then do you want to know on a personal level as well?
Yeah. And how long was that?
Yeah.
4 years ago?
Uh, I started with you at the end of 2020.
So 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, three. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So for
absolutely.
me,
Personally too.
on a personal level, I, oh my goodness, I was so emotional of a person. I was so shy. I struggled to speak up and speak my truth. I even I had what would be called PTSD because at one point I had bad sleep paralysis and I could hardly sleep at night. I was so afraid to sleep at night because I used to have these reoccurring nightmares for years of the same type of situation. And then all these memories had popped up and of things from childhood, and I didn't know how to address them. I didn't know what to do with it. And I
Mm.
was basically having the reoccurring one snippet of my life. I was just replaying that over and over and over again for a couple of months.
Like that
And
tap is
then,
just open, just
yeah, yeah. And so then it was actually at the end of NLP that then that completely shifted. And then I could sleep again at night. It was
wow.
really cool.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know that actually, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do remember you being very shy in NLP. And now
Yeah.
sometimes I'll see your advertising, your reels, your content, and you are just like, here I am. And it's just
Yeah.
incredible 180. And I think a testament to you for showing up, for doing the work, but also like how powerful it is when we peel back those layers and the real you can really shine and do what your gift is in this world as well. So
Mm.
that's really cool. So I'm curious because you do talk a bit about money compared to maybe as well what you were charging when you were doing the energy work and the healing to what you charge today, given that you've
Mm.
invested a lot in your personal development over the last few years, especially with us. And I know other programs too. So what has the difference been then in terms of what you're also able to receive now?
Yeah. So my money belief shifted a lot, and especially because I did 2 years of doing the business mentorship with you and Paul. So that expanded my awareness so much of what money is and the value of money and how it really is just an energy exchange, and my own personal value changed. And my self-worth. So at the beginning when I was doing energy healing, I mean, it was a big evolution, but I remember the first moment when I opened up my business, I think I charged $50 for a 1 hour session. And then I went up to 90 minutes. I think I got to about $100. maybe $100 for the 90-minute session. And then eventually when I studied NLP first, I think I was doing about $100 a session, eventually went up to 200. As I had finished doing hypnotherapy as well, then it escalated as well. But over time, I now charge for business coaching for 3 months. It's about $5,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is it's really cool.
It's really cool. That's a big shift and a big difference, and a great indicator for people, what's possible when you can energetically shift those beliefs, but also obviously offering something for like a 3-month process rather than once off.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
And
a
then,
reflection of your confidence in yourself and your skills that you can offer too, I suppose. So.
yeah. And I think it's great for people to see what's possible and how it's great to have more of a long-term time to work with someone, that it's the whole value shifts when it's a package of multiple sessions, when you're with someone in the sessions, but then also having that time between sessions. We do check-ins, like just through an app where we just check in. And that creates so much more value too, as opposed to just doing the once-offs. Yeah.
Yeah, that knowing someone's in your corner and there for you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
business can be pretty lonely, can't it? So
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
My goodness. Yes, definitely. Business can be so lonely. So it's so great to have someone that believes in you, because what I find and what I found for myself is having a business, I didn't have people that knew what I was doing. My closest friends and family are like, what is this that she's doing? And I find that's very common for a lot of people that maybe step into the space of NLP or hypnotherapy or whatever coaching they're doing. It's usually a bit more alternative. So usually our close friends and family are like, what is it? What are they doing? So
And
it's
also
nice to have someone that gets it.
absolutely. And also the friends and family have still seen you as the shy Amelia and the Amelia with the,
Yeah.
and when you've cleared all of that stuff, it's nice to have someone that actually sees you as who you are in this moment right now, right? So,
Yes.
okay, cool. So then tell me, so you've studied all the things, right? So you've studied NLP with us, hypnotherapy, master prac, advanced hypnotherapy. So I'd love to pick your brain. First of all, after doing NLP, what was it like for you studying hypnotherapy? Like, how did that change the landscape for you personally and professionally?
Yeah. So with NLP, that's very conscious conversation. It's very much, we're going to talk about something, usually eyes open for things. And sometimes people can get in their own way because it's a bit too conscious mind.
Yeah.
So hypnotherapy allows the client to just relax and to let go, and connects into their unconscious mind, which that's the aspect of us that is in charge of our beliefs, our habits. So I think it's so important for people to be able to learn that, but also for myself to just relax and connect in, and to do things a bit different to just NLP. It allows things to flow. You can integrate them, which I love.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. It's so nice to have the two, like the structure and the flow, because without one or the other, it could be a little bit, a little bit challenging, and definitely each client needs something different. And then how long was it between hypnotherapy and advanced hypnotherapy that you studied that?
I think it was 1 year.
Okay.
Was
Okay.
it? Maybe.
I
I
reckon you
can't
did hypno
remember.
in early 2021, and then advanced hypno was August 20.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes,
6 months.
yes, yes. 6 months. That's right. What
Yeah.
is time? Yeah.
So what would you say for you then advanced hypno gave you or solidified or provided?
Yeah. With hypnotherapy, just the practitioner level, I find that was a basic understanding of the unconscious mind and how to get someone very relaxed to make change. That's, one set framework, if you will. Whereas advanced hypno, we learn how to do, like Paul teaches you how to do more conversational work. So I found that really useful for, say, coaching clients. If they don't always want to have their eyes closed to go into, say, doing a regression work, to have someone with their eyes open, they can make shifts so much quicker with their eyes open, which is amazing. But then on the flip side of that too, it allowed me to bring people much deeper and use what is called idiomotor signals as well. And you can get direct unconscious signals from your mind and go a lot deeper too, which is super cool. So it's got so much more flexibility, I find.
And I think once you've been using the hypnotherapy skills, you can appreciate like the subtle power of eyes open conversational trance work, but then also being able to work directly with the unconscious with, say, those ideomotor signals and all the other different aspects as well. So
Yes.
that's cool. And so the people who are watching this that are maybe they've just studied NLP or they've studied NLP and hypno, or they might be thinking of, or they've just done master practice, they're just sort of starting out and they're starting out working with clients. What would be some suggestions or some recommendations or advice you would have for new coaches in our community?
I would say definitely stay connected to this work, because if you've, say, just learnt NLP, it can be quite easy to just let that go a bit, and your skills are not going to be as fine-tuned, and your confidence might not be as great if you were to, as if you were to maybe do some of the other courses. So that would be my best advice, to just stay connected to that energy, stay connected to even you and Paul and the work you do. Yeah, because
Keep
let's
evolving,
just
right?
say, huh?
Keep evolving, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, keep evolving. I think that's something that was a huge shift for me, because if I had of, I don't know what it would have been like, but say if I had have just studied NLP, I know that I would have a very different business to what I have right now. I'm a lot more confident. I've got a lot more flexibility, more range. Yeah.
Aside from studying more courses, what are some other
Yes.
real tips for
Uh,
confidence? What would you say?
I would say just have the courage, because usually people wait until they're perfect to then take action on things. But for me, I became good at what I do because I just put myself out there. I didn't feel super ready yet.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I finished doing hypnotherapy practitioner level, that following week I offered 10 sessions for a low price. I was already very confident from just the course itself. Like, I obviously to be able to do then 10 sessions, but I became really good at what I did because I had those 10 people straight up, and I became really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Just
that's
keep
one
doing
thing
it.
that I definitely recognized in you is you did so much practice. Like I feel like you were always doing coaching sessions, you were always doing swaps with people. You kept immersing yourselves in it. It doesn't just happen. And I think some people, I think doing the course is amazing, but it's also everything that you do around the course. And I know that you're an avid, you'll grab your manuals out and you'll refresh on things and review
Yeah.
techniques and things like that.
Even just this week on Monday, I was going over some advanced hypnotherapy work with someone who I studied with.
Yeah.
So I still do it. There's still things to refine, but not from a place of I'm not enough. It's more so from this place of curiosity, and because I enjoy it so much. So why wouldn't I want to refine my skills for myself and also for my clients?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I suppose I feel like that's really cool. A lot of good points that we've covered. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, any other advice or any other suggestions you would have for anyone watching this. Is going largely to our Evolve and Relaunch community, like around business tips or coaching tips or what you see in the industry. Is there anything else that you could say? Any other words of encouragement or support? It's been awesome to kind of
Mm,
get a window into your world and what you're doing.
yeah. I would say follow what you want to do, because there's so much noise out there. There's so many people doing specific things, and we can get ourselves into a trap of comparison of maybe I should be doing what they're doing, or maybe I'm not doing it as good as someone else. But the more you put yourself out there, the more you just keep going, keep booking sessions, even if it's low cost or swap, then you'll just keep getting better, and then you'll get to figure out your specific niche in that, because it took me a while to figure out mine. Before initially I worked with anyone, and
Yeah.
then I then realized, oh, I want to work with this type of person, and I went, oh no, now I want to do more business coaching. So I found myself through the process of, I didn't have to have it all figured out straight away. It was a journey.
So then that's a really great point. How do you personally handle the comparison? There's so many people doing so many things. What are your kind of go-tos, or what is your thought process around that?
Yeah. What I've truly found is the more I put myself out there, the more I then realize who I am in doing that. In any failures, any setbacks, any fears, I then realized, no, this is what I want to do, or this is what I don't want to do. So it's through me just showing up, to be honest. And, even just what I was chatting to you about before we even went on this call, that I did a meditation, a free one last night, and one person showed up live, but there was a replay for other people to watch, but one person showed up and I didn't care because I already feel successful and I believe in my work so much that it doesn't matter. That's fine. But people sometimes they make that then mean that they're not enough or they failed. But no.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. I think people see people doing things and they see the booked out webinars or the crowded rooms and they think it's always been that way. But we've all ran events where there's been one person show up. We've all had that humbling experience, but also well, sometimes you're just showing up for yourself as well. And I think if you're doing the work that you love to do, regardless if there's 1 or 100 people, it's still powerful. And as you said, it's on replay, so you probably still have 100 people at that event. It's just going to be in their time as well. So that's really cool. So then this is cool because I feel like you talking about your niche, that's something that I think a lot of people maybe hold themselves back from advertising because they're not like clear on their niche yet. You've navigated it. Paul and I always talk about, just date your niche. You don't have to marry them. So like start with one and then you can change and see which ones draw to you. So what do you think you would have said to yourself 4 years ago about what you're doing today? Like now you're a business and money mentor and you're in this industry and this niche. What do you think that you 4 years ago that was doing the energy work, started out charging $50 a session? What advice would you have for that you, or what do you think that you would have thought?
Oh my goodness. That version of me would have had no idea I would be doing what I do now. Like my focus was so narrow. I had blinders on of this is all I could probably ever do.
Yeah.
And then when I realized and I expanded my awareness to all these other opportunities, things have shifted so much. So I think I would tell myself, first of all, you don't have to have it all figured out yet. And really, I know this can sometimes be hard for people to hear, but to just enjoy the journey. And that is a huge part of it, because I wouldn't be who I am now if I didn't go through all of that, or any of, people not showing up, any things that I thought that I did wrong or that I could have done better. If I hadn't have been through all of that, then I wouldn't be who I am now. So I wouldn't change a thing.
I think that's so important, and so for those who are watching this, you don't know where you're going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But I feel like the more kind of this work that you can do, the more layers you can peel off, the more potential you can tap into, so that you can be looking back in years to come and amazed at the growth and the journey and what you're now able to do. So that's so cool. One thing I want to say as well is I've really loved not only seeing your journey of seeing you show up more and show more of yourself and offer more value in this world, because I really believe like the more value we add, the more abundance we all receive, right? And so it's been really cool to see that. But I feel like you've made the transition from working in the kind of energetic spiritual way into the business way in such a grounded way, and you've still kept that energy of that spiritual side of you, but it's really cool just seeing how grounded you are in all of these skills and tools as well, because I think a big part is that time to integrate it all, and then that time to reflect and how do I want to now apply what I've learned in this way. And it's just been a real beautiful thing to witness your journey and your evolution and your I guess your growth into just this confident human that is able to support so many people in those spiritual, because I know you work with a lot of people who have spiritual businesses that sometimes have blocks around money or receiving, or they've got some interesting beliefs around past life stuff that could be holding them back too. So I just think it's awesome, and I'm a big believer that like the stepping stones always help you along the way. So it's like you had to have had that experience of being in that world and having the different earning capacity and beliefs to now be able to serve those people too through the other side. Anyway, that was just a little bit of a cool observation that I had. How do you stay grounded along the way? What are some of the things, because I know you've got some really good practices that you do on a weekly
basis. I'm still very much within quite a spiritual community, and a lot of the people I work with have maybe spiritual businesses or they're quite spiritually minded. I definitely think it's important to have someone that's quite grounded as a business coach first and foremost. But I would say NLP helped me to stay grounded because I now understand why I do the things that I do. And not only that, but now I know that I can shift things for myself in a very clear way. It's not quite as out there. It's how can we bring things maybe out there for a bit, but then also have it land in our body. I think that's very important because at the end of the day, we're still human and we still have to operate as humans. So to be able to integrate that is so important. But I stay grounded I'm quite active. I think I have a very grounded perspective on life that I'm here to do things with people to make change. I have a very strong vision for what I want, looking forward for myself in business. And all of that allows me to stay very grounded, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Having a clear vision. And I think also not just the NLP, but the master prac skills of knowing your values and knowing how you can align those and shift them if you need to help you towards your goals and your vision. I think that's key as well. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I suppose any other last final words, any other feedback, words, anything else you want to share?
I would say have courage over perfection. Definitely. Just if you're feeling a bit of fear, it's really good to just feel the fear and do it anyway. And if the fear is so strong, then you'll have the tools to be able to shift past that using all of the work that you and Paul offer.
Absolutely. Yes. Very good advice. What is it? Fortune favors the brave. Have the courage, feel the fear, and do it anyway. So thank you so much, Amelia. I hope you have a beautiful afternoon, and thank you for shining your light and sharing your work with us.
Oh, thank you.